All right, guys, Iain Nelson back with you from Reluctant Runner Racing. All right, so today we're gonna do a little race description for you about the Madness Elimination Trail, otherwise known as Trail Prom. The Met is gonna be Sunday, May 28th. The Met is a team trail race. So what we do is we have co-ed teams. Teams compete against each other in a tournament-style trail race. As we go through the day today, we'll be filling in the time chart, kind of based on last year's event, to give you an idea of the format and the flow and how the race works. Here's the format of the Met. It's a 3-round race. Round 1 is a 4-mile loop that you do twice. So the first round is 8 miles. We'll record split times when you get through the start-finish line. Then at the end of the first round, we'll record the time. We'll record your teammates' time. Then we'll combine those 2 times and we'll figure out, based on that time, number of teams that will be advancing. For the second round, we have a 3-mile course that you do twice. So you go for 6 miles, record split time, record the finish time of the 6 miles, and then do the same thing. We'll cut down fastest team times. We'll advance to the 3rd round, and then we'll do the 3rd round in the same way. That will determine our champion.
Okay.
All right, guys, here we go. Round 1, we're gonna start on the 4-mile course. The 4-mile course is going to have about 410 feet of gain over that 4 miles. Okay, so we're doing 2 laps of it. So in the 8 miles, you got a little over 800 feet of gain. And the reason I bring that up, when you and your teammate are discussing strategy on how you want to attack especially the first round, you want to take that into consideration like you would any other race. Because if you plan on going to the 2nd and the 3rd round, that elevation will add up as well as the mileage. One quick note here on this section, on the long section of downhill on the 4-mile course. There are a couple places where the courses overlap. This is one of them. So on the 4-mile course in round 1, you're going to be going downhill. If you make it to round 2 and round 3, the 3-mile course comes up this hill and then takes a right. So we'll look at that later. But the course markings will identify, it'll either have the 4 on it or it'll have a 3 for the 2nd, 3rd round. So you'll be able to tell the difference between the courses. Just need to follow the signs, course marking. All right, strategy-wise, a few strategies that were used last year. We had a fast group that really wanted to save themselves for the later rounds, and they kind of made the assumption that they would be fast enough to make it. And they almost didn't make it to the 2nd round because they held back too much. All right, so the second strategy, to have one runner go out fast, and then let your 2nd runner just kind of run as they would, normal. The hope and strategy being that your fast runner builds up enough of a cushion to make up the difference for the slower teammate. We had some runners last year that tried that and it worked okay for them. It has, like anything else, has its pros and cons. So we had some runners, some teams taking that approach. So the 3rd strategy was for both teammates to run slightly above average, right? They weren't holding back, weren't being conservative, but they weren't really going that hard either. It's probably the safest way to do it, so you can keep your eye on the pack as a whole and understand and see where the other runners are, but you're able to save yourself a little bit too for the later rounds. The other thing we found was that the timings really came down to less than a minute, and in some cases maybe less than 30 seconds between a team either moving forward in a round or being eliminated. So strategy matters in picking your teammate and deciding which strategy you want to use. All right, so we got the first round done. The 4 mile goes in a clockwise loop. The 3 mile is going to go counterclockwise. So we're going to start that now, and we'll come back in and we'll finish coming up through the woods. On the 3 mile course, it's still about a little over 400 feet of gain. So now we're doing less mileage, but more elevation. You can go faster. It's a little bit less technical also, but your legs are gonna feel it definitely at the end. Towards the end of the 3 mile course. We've come out of the main trail, the lodge behind us, but what we're going to do is go across the field and then take a left, and we'll be flat out to the finish line at the community shelter. All right, that's the end of the 3 mile loop, or round 2 and round 3. Okay, so we finished round 1, the 4 mile course, 8 miles total. And here's our round 1 board. So what we've got is a few columns. We've got the team names down to the left. Then we've got the individuals on each team in the second column. So we do the lap 1 splits for no other reason, just to see who's where in the pack in the race. Then we've got the finishing times of each individual. And then in the last column, we've got the team combined times. Okay. And then what you see in the circles is I decided to advance 5 teams out of the 9 that started the race. Then we'll move on to round 2. So now we've got round 2 done. 5 teams advanced to round 2. We switched from the 4 mile course to the 3 mile course. Same thing. We've got the lap 1 splits. We've got the finishing times for each individual, and then the combined times. We advanced 3 teams to the final round. So we've come down into round 3. We've had 3 teams advance. The difference in time between first and second place is just under 1 minute, 55 seconds. And if you consider that over the course of 20 miles, 55 seconds is not very much. The third place team finished in 2:08:53. A little bit of a nail biter, but it was fun for everyone. Had a good time. Just to summarize the Madness Elimination Trail, it's going to be Sunday, May 28th at Highland Forest County Park. We're going to start and finish at the community shelter. Look, this is a kind of a passion project that I thought of last year. It's a fun and competitive way to offer trail running. It's a completely new format that I don't think we've seen in trail racing, combining the co-ed team element and an elimination round tournament. It's a fun way to come out and enjoy the trails and enjoy the park and enjoy each other's company. We'll have an aid station here at the start finish, have all the usual snacks and candies and drinks. We'll have a grill going, so if you need hamburgers, hot dogs, quesadillas, whatever you want, we'll pretty much have it. One of the cool things that we found last year was that throughout the day, as teams were eliminated, they hung around, they cheered on each other. They kind of took in the drama firsthand because their friends are out racing. Fun environment to be around, has a little bit of drama mixed in. And then at the end, we hand out awards to the top 3 teams. The champions will get a trophy to take home, sort of like the Stanley Cup. They get to take it home for the year and do whatever they want with it. Then they bring it back the next year. We'll have a plaque with their names on it. One of the cool elements that we have at the Trail Prom, that the winning couple get to pick their champion's meal. So in 22, the winners could pick either, we had a filet, a nice 8-ounce filet that was grilled, made to order here with vegetables and potatoes. Or if you're a vegan, we had a vegan option. We had a grilled portobello mushroom with vegetables and potatoes. And then we sat around. Everyone else had hot dogs and hamburgers and peanut butter and jelly and whatever else they wanted. So it was a good time to just kind of hang out. It was a beautiful day. And yeah, that's the Madness Elimination Trail, or Trail Prom, however you like it.